My initial thoughts were, of course, centered around our students, and I know they were anxious and ready to move into the residence halls. This was around move-in day for our incoming freshmen, and of course, they come in a week before we start. The other students were moving in, so students are excited about that. And so this was all delayed significantly, but also the families that were impacted by the floods and that couldn't get here because their families were in such a situation where they had to be at home helping their families to recover, get back to some sense of normalcy. You know, usually when a lot of situations like that, the initial challenges that they have are often the minor stuff, not as bad. It's the aftermath starts to happen, and those are the things that we had to deal with a lot of students. Some having to say, I got to go home and I got to help my family. And we had all the above. I didn't receive big numbers of those, but I do remember talking to several that could not make it from on the front end, and then we had to then move their applications and everything to the spring. So we worked with them on that, of course. But the other ones were the tough ones who they were able to get here by the first day of classes or during that first week of classes, trying to move in because the parents felt that this was a better place for them to be than at home, and then trying to make it work here, but all their thoughts are at home, so they can't focus on their studies, some of these kids, and they said that, having to, within a few weeks of the semester, having to say, I can't do it, I got it, because they were going home often. Several of these kids were going home, like weekends, early on Fridays, going home to help. So, and we had, the numbers weren't huge, at least that I dealt with one-on-one, but I did interact and engage with several students who were going through those things, and just not knowing, I said, on this end, don't worry about this. We got a solution for you. We can take care of charges and all that stuff for you and have it ready for you for the next semester. Just go take care of your family. And we had some as well that finally were able to make it the second semester or a year later, but we're still having kids that are now feeling the effects of the flood. Just some people just recently got in their homes. Some just recently. Quite a few. We did a couple of things. We had a fund, so there was some fundraising that was happening, people donating money. We got funds from, different sources, but also we were able to identify kids that were Pell eligible, high need students, and then we then allocated some university funds to help those students out as far as grants are concerned. If they were Pell eligible, then we looked at trying to give them some supplemental grants, and those were generally somewhere around, $1,000, for fall and for spring, to kind of help them, for some incidentals and things of that nature that they had, because kids lost laptops, they lost books. We also set up, I forgot to mention that, we had something in place where they could get a loan or a laptop if they needed one. So we had that in place, and a few kids took advantage of that. So we did several things in that regard. All the monies that we had, as far as we worked closely with student affairs on this project. They had an account where we were helping students who were not Pell eligible. Then we would use the funds that they had to, to give them some assistance. And those little grants were somewhere, I call them small grants, but they were big to these students. All the money we had allocated for that, everybody that came forward, they ended up getting some money from that. All those students that were Pell eligible, all of them got money. I've talked to a few kids that are telling me, about the issues they had and coming back and all that stuff. So, but any of those that we could help, we have, but we haven't seen a big request for, for financial assistance on our end. I think our main thing was to try to help them just to kind of get to some sense of normalcy as quick as we could, and as far as classroom was concerned, because the semester just started, so we wanted to help with books and things like that, because students lost things like books and laptops and clothes and all that stuff. So I know we had a big clothes drive for them as well, so we had, a place set up where we had clothes that were donated from everywhere. There was all kinds of supplies, school supplies, water, and everything like that. So I know all the things that we had, it was pretty much all given out. So they did really avail themselves to what we had available to them. Well, we tried to listen to the students who were going through it and trying to determine what their needs were, and then we tried to quickly respond to that. So, and I think we did a pretty good job. Of course, you want to do more, giving them $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. But I think at least we helped them to settle in school and get their books, and and try to go back to the normal behavior of being a student.